Thanks for staying with us. Government is confident the country will soon begin its mass vaccine rollout. Now, over 30 million Pfizer doses are expected to begin hitting our shores from next month. Those over the age of 60 are now able to register for the vaccine, that process starting late Friday afternoon. Now, those who can't access the online system for various reasons are being urged to visit their nearest vaccination sites once they are announced and once they are open. To discuss what's the next steps, we are joined via Skype by Ahmed Banderker. He is the Group CEO for Afrocentric Investment Coorporation. Ahmed, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, under the umbrella of your organization falls quite a few important medical aids. So that process is going to be front and center for those medical aids. Where are you at this stage in planning for this vaccination rollout?
Good morning, Marcel, and good morning to the viewers as well. So yeah, it's exciting times, obviously, with EVDS opening up on Friday for registration. So we finally start our process of getting underway. From our planning side, we've been busy with this for the last few months. We're working with EVDS. Our systems will start opening up to be able to register people as well. So people will do self-registration, but there'll be a second process which we will communicate to members, where they will then also register on our site, and we'll direct them through to all of our sites available to them. Obviously, they'll have maximum choice available of going to their own centers or their own pharmacies that they may want to go to, or they can come to the sites that we will have registered as well for the vaccination.
Now, communication here is indeed going to be key. We've seen now some of the difficulties in the registration, some people not having access to the internet and that kind of thing. How are you ensuring that that key information is getting to your members, especially with regards to where these vaccinations will take place? Because that, of course, was up in the air as well. Will it be sites that will be created? Will commercial pharmacies be used and that kind of thing? What information can you share with us here, and how will you be sharing that information with your members?
So we have quite a significant communications plan that's starting out, right? And we started rolling out that about 2 weeks ago already, starting to keep members informed of the vaccination plans and the processes that needs to be adhered to. And we're doing that obviously in conjunction with what the Department of Health is putting out, so that we're trying to make it easier for members to understand, click on a link and go and do what it is that they need to do. Now, in terms of sites available, you're absolutely right. There's going to be the likes of all the major pharmacies where people will be able to get their vaccines. We're going to make available about 17 of our sites for vaccines, and that excludes some of the major workplaces that we will go to as well, and open up capabilities for people to get their vaccine at their place of work. And that's for our large corporate membership base that exists. And that's all aimed at trying to make the process a lot easier for them. The reason why we're taking it on that way is because in some cases, obviously we need to follow the protocols over 60s, but what the corporates would like to see is over 40s being getting the vaccine.
Now, obviously, a spanner in the works was the suspension of the J&J rollout. What kind of impact did that have on your plans?
Not much at all, actually, because, I mean, that suspension was for a very short period of time. And as recent as yesterday, in fact, SAPRA actually made the announcement and lifted the ban on the J&J vaccine as well. So they have done their tests and have given the assessment and the green light for South Africa to continue using that vaccine with certain protocols of how to manage the high-risk members that may be prone to blood clotting. So there's a lot of information and communication that will go with the vaccine as well. But that's certainly good news for us, right? Because that's a significant number of vaccines that has a major impact on us getting to herd immunity.
Of course, outside of planning for the vaccinations for COVID, we also have winter coming, as it were, and flu jabs and all of that is top of mind as well. How is your organization feeling about reports about a potential third COVID-19 wave on offer?
Yeah, that's quite interesting, and a number of articles have been published about the third wave and where that is coming. Our view is that there will be a third wave, and that's partly because A, we're getting into the winter season, and B, well, we've seen it happening in most other countries as well. And we're at the starting blocks. I mean, we haven't started doing the vaccines as yet. So our view is that there will be a third wave. Our view is that it will not be as severe as what the second wave was. This week, in fact, I was just looking at some of the data yesterday. This week has seen that the test positivity rate has increased. It's now at 9.4% actually, compared to the last few weeks where we've been hovering at about 5%. So now that may be a factor of testing as well. There's still a lot more analysis that needs to go on there. But we certainly always predicted that during the course of May, we will start to see those numbers starting to increase again.
Obviously, we were talking about communication being key, but also there's a communication route between you and government. Can you let us in on what that's been like and how you feel about how government has managed the process up until now?
Yeah, so, there's been a lot of open critics about it. It's easier with the benefit of hindsight, but it's complicated, right? And I think government is doing really as best as they possibly can. We may criticize some of the decisions, but like I say, that's always with the benefit of hindsight. When you're in the throes, you've got to make the decision with the information that's available at a point in time. So I think government has done well. I mean, we're at that point now where we're about to roll it out. EVDS is now up and running. We've been working with government and Department of Health extremely closely. In fact, because what we want to do, Marcel, is connect our systems to EVDS so that we can get all of the pre-populated information there, so that we can direct people to their closest site. And it becomes particularly important, as we start getting into recognizing the high-risk members, etc., to make the process easier, obviously, because nobody will have to pay for the vaccine, right, at the point of service. It's either going to get paid for out of your medical aid, or your company is going to pay it for you, or government will pay for it. But no person will have to fork out of their own pocket for it. So that's an important aspect of it. So we've been working very close with them. And needless to say, it's not an easy exercise for government as well in everything that needs to be configured to make this all work.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thanks so much for your time this morning. The Group CEO for Afrocentric Investment Coorporation. They administer a number of big medical aids. That's Ahmed Banderker joining us there from Cape Town.